Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo, my name is Siti Wilza Alivia and I'm from 6E. In this video, I would like to tell you about sociolinguistic factors. Okay, the first is definition of sociolinguistic. What is sociolinguistic? So, sociolinguistic is a developing branch of linguistics and sociology which investigates the individual and social variation of language. Just a regional variation of language can give a lot of information about the place the speaker from. Social variation tells about the roles performed by a given speaker within one community or country. Sociolinguistic is a practical, scientific discipline which researches into the language that is actually used either by native speaker or foreigners in order to formulate theories about language change. And they are numerous factors influencing the way people speak which are investigated by sociolinguistic. They are social class, social content, geographical origins, ethnic, nationality, gender, and the last is age. Okay, now I would like to explain to you one by one. Start from social class. So, social class is the position of the speaker in society, measured by the level of education, parental background, profession, and their effect on syntax and lexis used by speaker. An important factor influencing the way of formulating sentences is, according to sociolinguistic, the social class of the speaker. Okay, now I will give example for social class. In the educational background, I took example about between a student and a person who only graduated from junior high school and a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering with a mechanic in the workshop. Then, for the parental background, I took example between the head village and the villagers, then between the community and a customary head. Okay, the second one is about social context, the register of the language used depending on changing situations. Example, when you use formal language, it can use informal meeting. And when you use informal language, it can use for informal meeting. Example, when you are talking with your friends. Example, when teachers meet students in the school environment and outside the school environment. Then, there will be changed language difference. The language used in this case is adapted to formal or informal situation. Okay, the third is geographical origins. It's slight differences in pronunciation between speakers that point at the geographical region which the speakers comes from. Sociolinguistic investigates the way in which language changes depending on the region of the country it is in. I took an example Japanese because the Japanese have several branches of other culture. Example, between West Java and Central Java. They have different cultures and ways of speaking too. Okay, the next is ethnicity. Differences between the use of a given language by its native speaker and other ethnic groups. There are numerous factors including idiolect, some of which have been presented above. Yet two more need to be elucidated, namely jargon and slang. Jargon is specific technical vocabulary, for example, words such as convergence, dialect, and social class are sociolinguistic jargon. Okay, in this part, I take the Lampung culture for the example. Lampung has several characteristics, namely Tabi Pun and Saibumi Ruajurai. Okay, the next is nationality. Nationality clearly visible in the case of English language. Example, British English different from American English and Canadian English. And Nigerian English different from Ghanaian English. The study of language variation is concerned with social constraints determining language in contextual environment. Code switching is the term given to the use of different varieties of language in different social situations. The example is Indian and American. The next is gender. Differences of pattern in language used between men and women, such as quantity of speech and intonation patterns. The example is here, what distinguishes between men and women is the intonation used when they are speaking. Example, Farhan speaks with a quiet intonation, while Wilza speaking the intonation softer than Farhan. Okay, the last is about age. The influence age of the speaker on the use of vocabulary and grammar completely. Okay, for example, I take about neighbors, where children on 4 years old when they shop at the small shop. What do we know? Child 4 years old isn't very clear when they are speaking, both for their grammar, on their pronunciation, and maybe for their intonation. Okay, I think that's all for my explanation. I'm sorry if I make a mistake. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.